Hey everyone, so here at the FXCM Trading Summit, they're all in there, really nice event. It's quite cool because of all the people that use FXCM, they've asked basically me and another bloke to present to all of their clients. So I feel quite honoured, so thank you FXCM if you're watching this. But the thing I want to talk about today is actually nothing about trading, and it's about a really prickly phone call I had today. And I won't talk about the specifics or why it happened, but I was having a chat with a pretty old school business owner. I put a Facebook status because I wanted to see what other people thought. And during this, he basically said, "You're only 3 years old, Siam. Why the do you need a PA? You're all show. You need to be grounded. I have 75 staff and even I don't have a PA." And I was literally stunned. And the thing is, I had a million answers that just came to my mouth, and I was just so shocked. I didn't know what to say, and I'm not very good with confrontational situations. As a rule, I don't like making enemies, but sometimes people are dicks. I didn't explain to him why I thought he really did need a PA, because I posed a question to him. I said, well, do you think there are things that you're doing every day which you could potentially outsource to free up your time? Because if you're in the business, doing the day, etc., doing the same thing day in, day out, I'm pretty sure you could be outsourcing a lot of that. And the thing is, this guy is old school, he is wealthy. I don't know how much that was inherited or from his own skin, etc. I don't think people value their time as much as they should. We all have 168 hours per week, and what we do with it is really, really important. And the thing is, we're only here for such a short period of time. When you come to think of it, I mean, if you look at the whole human species, we have been here for literally less than an eye blink on the grand scheme of things. And so the way I approach life is that I want to do as much as possible in the very short period of time that I have. And I mean, I fully expect to live way longer than 100 years old, but still, I'm 32 right now. Let's say I've got another 70 years left. I want to fill that 70 odd years with as much as possible. So this is why I am on a bit of a crazy relentless drive, because I want to hit all of my financial targets in the shortest period of time, so I can then spend the rest of my life doing whatever the frig I want, without worrying about money, without worrying about bills, without worrying about whatever. And I find it frustrating that some people sort of look down at me for being on this relentless mission to hit my targets or whatever. But going back to this thing, how this guy has spent, got 75 staff. I mean, that's sometimes, in fact, most cases, are not necessarily a good thing, because your fixed costs are ridiculous if you have 75 staff. I remember at one point I had 50 staff, and my monthly outgoings were just nuts. And then you have politics, you have politics within teams, and then you have teams trying to outbeat other teams, and it's just, sometimes it's not congruent because not everyone's pushing towards the same goal. And I think this got me thinking, and I've just got I don't know if you can, sit down, Matty. Come and have a chat with Uncle Siam. I was just trying to work out what we spend our time on. So sleeping, this is ballpark. I mean, some people sleep 4 hours a day, some 8, but let's just say 7 hours a day. I didn't have a word for getting changed, having a shower, cleaning your teeth, having a wee, all that sort of stuff. So let's just say it's an hour a day. I know some people it's more like 3 hours a day, but hey, let's call it an hour a day. Eating, TV, Facebook, internet, travel, you're commuting to work, etc. Fun, you may have a hobby you do, once a day, etc. And the thing is, what that leaves you is only 6 hours for work. And I think that's pretty average. And so of your whole life, let's say this is your life, you basically have to be productive enough that you're hitting your financial goals within the time allocated. And so I think you really need to be aware of what your time is worth. And so I think you can easily work out a few little things. So your break-even target. So let's say, I don't know, let's say your take-home income is, so take home, let's just call it £1,500 per month, okay? Well, what you then need to do is work out the amount of hours you work per month. So if it's 6 hours times 5, it's 30 hours a week, times 4, that's 120. So you basically need to divide 1,500 quid by 120 hours. So that is your break-even hourly rate. So £12.50 per hour. Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth. I mean, I've done this before, like in-depth, because you have to also work out your effective time rate. Because yes, you're working 6 hours a day, but not even me, and I'm like on a freaking mission. I'm not like 100% productive 6 hours a day every day. I do watch the odd cat video, and the odd couple of hours a day of Elon Musk. So, like, of those 6 hours a day, you're probably really in the flow, probably an hour. So if it's like, I don't know, an hour a day, so it's only 5 hours a week times 4, so it's only 20 hours. So 1,500 divided by 20. So really, your effective hourly rate is £75. Anyway, but you may have a target. Let's say you're on 1,500 quid a month take home. Well, let's say you want to hit 3 grand a month. Well, what is your average? I mean, it's a lot harder if you're employed, because you can't really dictate what you take home. But if you're like a business owner or entrepreneur or whatever it is, you have the ability to command what you want. You can dictate what you earn in business. So if it's 3 grand a month you want to take home, 3 grand a month divided by 120 hours a week, so that your hourly rate is 25 hours. Obviously, I could have just doubled that. But some people may have like a comfy target. So when I say comfy target, I'm being very fluffy here. Like, this could be your financial independent target. Some people, it could be 5 grand a month. I mean, a lot of people say they'll be happy as Larry if they had 5 grand a month take home, or 10 grand a month, or whatever. So if it is 5 grand a month, divide that by 120, that's £41, call it £42 an hour. This is gross, by the way. I'm ignoring taxes. Taxes are gonna up all of these things. So the thing is, I'm not gonna share my, I think it'd just be crass if I was to share my hourly rate. But again, this same person and other people in the past have looked down their noses at me, thinking I'm like head in the clouds, I'm a bit of a show off, and like I lead this extravagant lifestyle. And the thing is, I don't lead an extravagant lifestyle. What I do is I try and mitigate as many of these rubbish things out of my life as possible. Because let's just say your hourly rate is £25 an hour or £40 an hour, etc. It doesn't make sense to be doing tasks which are worth less than your hourly rate. So if you're a business owner and you're bookkeeping, that is stupid, because you can get a good bookkeeper for £15 an hour. And who's going to do it in half the time and twice as better and more accurately than you? So don't do bookkeeping. Don't do the cleaning. Like, you can get a good cleaner for £10 per hour. And in fact, I didn't even put cleaning on here. Cleaning is probably, I mean, someone said, oh, Siam, like, it doesn't take long to finish, take your plate to the dish, wash it, or put it in the dishwasher, etc. But the thing is, it does, because if you add up every single time you have to spend some time putting stuff in the dishwasher, it could be like an extra 30 seconds each meal. So that's 90 seconds a day. 90 seconds a day times 10 years, it all adds up. It could be in days, weeks, or months. And when you combine all of these little things, it adds up. Like you'll end up spending years of your life just doing stuff which you really shouldn't be doing. So all I do is any task in my life, whether it's the gardening, the cleaning, the bookkeeping, or whatever I can outsource, I do outsource. And it's just normal. It's just arbitrage of your hourly rate. Matty, what is that? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Of course, Matty's going to say yes.
I think we should do a diss track with this guy then.
Diss track?
Yeah.
No. And yeah, he said like, why do you have a PA? You're only 3 years old, etc. And it's like, the thing is, we get like, sometimes we get like hundreds and hundreds of emails, messages, Facebook messages, linked, like all messages and full stop per day. Like, I could not, and the thing is, I'm not rude. I don't like to ignore people. If someone messages me, they've taken the time out of their day to compose a message and write to me. So I want to reply to them. It may take 2 weeks for me to personally get back to them, but so the reason I have a PA is so I can outsource tasks to her and also to reply to people. Having a PA doesn't mean I'm like some flashy bastard. We all have 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week, etc. And the number one excuse I hear for why they're not setting up their own part-time online-based business, or the two. One, I don't know how to, or the skills, or that shouldn't exist because we have Google and YouTube for free. Poor excuse. And the second one is I don't have time. Well, that's bollocks as well. You can find the time. So let's say you are doing 6 hours of work a week or 8 hours a day or whatever. Like you can basically siphon off time here. Hey, there's roughly 6 hours a day of dicking about on the internet and watching TV here. And that's, I mean, I know for some people it's more. But even if you're quite limited here, like why can't you spend an hour a day or 2 hours a day setting up a part-time online-based business? And yeah, and even if it takes you 10 years to grow your part-time business to making £3 grand a month, that's a lot better than the normal paradigm of working for 40 years and ending up with nothing. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. It's quite funny because I was actually talking with Teeks because I'm thinking of getting her a PA because like I've overloaded her at the moment. So I think Teeks needs a PA now. So gonna have a long line of PAs. So see you later.